off. Today is day 249 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at freeCodeCamp / CodePen. We are trying our best to do this weather project, this weather app. We are in API hell. And hopefully... Oh god, what's broken now? What is broken now? Something... No, nothing's broken. Things are working. That's what's going on. That's why it's not loading. Hey, James Does Games. How are you doing this evening? Hopefully things are going well for you. We are trying to piece together our weather app via freeCodeCamp / CodePen. Let's at least find the project instructions. Show the local weather. James Does Games, doing good. Awesome. Way cool. Glad to hear it. Alright, we need... See the weather in the current location, see different icons for background image, depending on weather, and push button to toggle between the two. Yet again, it should look like something like this guy in the end. Ta-da! Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Beautiful, beautiful. You know what? We ran into this issue yesterday. The fact that it's loading means that it is... that the API is actually making the proper call. However, something is slightly out of place. Now, what could be slightly out of place on our code? We'll figure it out. James Does Games. I'm just stopping by because I gotta go to sleep. Might stay for a few. That's cool, man. Do your thing. This is an incredibly boring stream, especially when I'm struggling, so this is the perfect stream to fall asleep to. This is why we're doing this. To help people not stay awake. Alright. We are going to comment out... We're going to comment out... We've got two versions of pulling this off. We have the nightmare that we constructed yesterday, following the freeCodeCamp example, and then we also have... Well, that seemed to do wonders. That's where we're currently at. We also have the gift from Topher on what we could be dealing with. So let's go ahead and comment out this. Good times. Ta-da! Bee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. There's that, and let's free the beast. Okay, so there's his get weather. Boom. Everything we ever wanted. Right there. Looking back at us. James Does Games, stop my sleep. Why don't you use VS to solve your code problems? Wait, why don't you use VS to solve your code problems? It would help. Question. VS? Dare I ask? I'm still inept. Oh, Visual Studio. Right. I've got Atom for my text editor, because the reason why I'm using CodePen is because it goes through, like, that's what they're using. I'd need to, I mean, I could do all the stuff in something like Atom or Visual Studio, but freeCodeCamp eventually, in the end, wants us to submit a link. When you go to, well, in the end, they'll ask you, yeah, there's an I've completed this challenge button. They've been having issues lately for signing in. They're doing some site maintenance, but usually this lower button would say, oh, submit your CodePen link. So they want their project submitted via CodePen. That's why I've got the CodePen profile, or whatever you call it. So that's all, just because that's what the challenge calls for. But yes, I agree. I could and probably should be doing this in another program / editor. Most commercial companies use VS, so just copy and paste it. Yeah, I agree. I should be doing that. Especially for the practice. What was I looking for? Continuing through the nightmare. Right. Also, the other thing for how I have it set up, I would normally have it on the right side, but apparently my stupid face is blocking the JavaScript when it's on the right side. Usually when I'm going through stuff like freeCodeCamp, it's instructional stuff on the left side of the screen, so my noggin and the webcam aren't usually blocking anything critical. But here at CodePen, when I'm doing things, my face hole is in the way. And it's just not quite, when I've got it up top, slightly better than having it on the right side, but it's still, I don't have a lot of room to view all the goodness that's going down, thus all the noise on the right side. Oh dear God, what is this? There we go. There we go. We're making do with what we got. Okay, so we were able to, we've got our button. We have weather, div weather, and our button, get weather button. Get weather button. Save. Now for the JavaScript, what do we have? Document ready, constant, weather div, and get weather button. Alright, those could be variables if we needed them to be. Well, I mean, they are variables. They just can't be changed. Get weather button on click function if navigator.geolocation, navigator.geolocation.get current position, function position, display weather, position coordinates latitude, longitude, function weather div unable to obtain, else weather div geolocation API is unavailable. Display weather, latitude and longitude, so that's what's happening here. Display weather. It's taking those two parameters based off this, and it's shoving them in here. Let API, blankety blankety blank current, .get API. I think this is actually the critical part that I've been looking for, comparatively. James does games. By the way, you don't have to talk right into your mic. You can push it. You can push a foot or two away. Use Windows input device settings to get the audio right. But to max, right boot to max, and turn audio echo cancellation on. Clever. I guess I could do that. looking back on it, I probably should have calibrated it for further away. I went through everything, all the, what was it, setting up all the nonsense in Adobe Audition, going through all testing was done, like, right here. The other thing is that we do, like this, late night streams. There is a boost. Okay, gotcha. Audio right boost to max and turn audio echo cancellation off. So another thing for having it close, I probably should have a headset in general, but there's a sleeping human in this same room. So it helps being able to have it close, so I don't have to, like, whisper. I can still talk, but it's just a weird dynamic. And then to boost the audio with the mic away when whispering, was just... everything about my stream is sort of making a best of an interesting situation. Definitely not ideal, but it's what we've got to work with. So there's a smattering of issues for how things have turned out. But I agree, yes, the eye patch mic is highly questionable. It's not my preferred course of action. Same thing with the webcam setup. Like, I've got it shimmied, but there's just... and plus there's cats. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Then additionally, when it comes to the code, I'm just clueless. Anyways. It's there. What were we looking at? We set up all this kind of stuff below. We were looking at trying to come to terms with what the hell is actually happening in all of this. James does games. I'd help on real projects. No problem. No problem. This is just, it's noise. Like if we start a cloud project. I'm trying, once I finish this, someone else assisted getting me a good little basic startup project. So I'm gonna be trying to tackle that in the coming days. We've just had some scheduling issues. Because the project they sent me, usually when I try to embark on something, I try and start when I have a lot of time to dedicate to it. Usually these late night streams, although they tend to run long, I try to keep them as short as possible. When I try to start new projects, I try to start at midday when I have some more time to throw at it. That way I'm not just turning over the first page and having to call it quits. But once I get through that next project, yes, we can take on new adventures. One step at a time, though. Alright, we were looking... so we've got our HTML here. The document.ready stuff, it's containing all of this noise. We've got our constants in get weather. We have another function. We also have our else for that function. And then what do we have? We've got display weather, which was prepped over here. Let API blankety blankety blank $get API, comma, latitude is lat, which is pulling from these. Longitude is lon, which is pulling from there through here. Function data, weather.div, HTML, JSON.stringify data null 2. So we're pulling in all the data. What we need to display is this. If you don't mind me asking, what's your day job? I'm surprised you have energy to code. My schedule's all over the place. I don't have consistent work per se, but I do have IT gigs here and there that I'll do, whether it's through families, friends, old coworkers, usually word of mouth, continuing on from there. General fix-it stuff, helping set up, home networks, Wi-Fi things. Couple elderly clients, again, friends and family, word of mouth, continuing on to elderly family members. So it's kind of hit and miss. Assisting at other, anyways. But yeah, so that's all over the place. Previously, I had been doing HR for the last couple years, like 5+ years, both in the government, public sector, and private sector. But now, with different life journey, I decided, hey, now that I've got a bit more time, try and learning code. However, as far as the energy to code, that's why I always start the stream. I am free earlier in the night at like probably 10-ish per se, maybe 9. But it's the motivation. It is the energy level, and it's only because I'm 240 plus days deep into the year that I somehow managed to convince myself to do the stream. But yeah, I'm exhausted. That's another reason why my coding instincts are so questionable, especially after like 30 minutes or an hour, and then I've got to still get up early in the morning most days, and like, oh god. So yeah, there's a lot of delirium on this stream, but it's just I've made it too far to give up, I feel like. And then once I have the camera going and streaming, the energy does kind of come back, but it's like 30 minutes of questionable sanity, and then it's just all downhill from there. It comes crashing down. Then you get the cats walking by, and it's just me yelling at cats with coding on my monitor, and that's what the stream has been. But it's interesting. It's giving me something to do. Bob Danube, put a shoe on your head so I know this is live. Oh god, what? Do I have to? I can't reach a shoe from this position. Will headphones do? What about a watch? Oh, I've got my headphone case. Yeah, does that? I can't. It's so dark. Of course, I choose a black headphone case. Not that I have other headphone cases, but like, right. Oh, you can't see it. Well, there. Ta-da. Headphone case. Shoed. It's a bot. Are you kidding? Yes, exactly. Oh, I wish my coding skills were that good to make a responsive bot like that. That was the one thing. Oh god, I didn't know. That was the other thing, is that it's been my goal to do something learning to code, but streaming seemed interesting, and then doing a daily stream just to get used to the whole streaming process, which I think everyone should at least try it. Maybe not for a year, but streaming in general, it's definitely been interesting, especially the coding community. Totally separate issue. Oh god, you guys, maybe not you specifically, but although I'm sure someone has helped do stuff. See, let's make AI. Yeah, see that? It's been the helpfulness. How helpful the programming community on Twitch has been. Holy hell. There are days where I am just beyond confused, and viewers come in and totally save the day with their suggestions. So that's been really helpful. But what are we looking at? We got all kinds of stuff going down. Oh, we were looking at the code. So I need to take. I want this. If I set up, what do I want to set up? Div weather. If I do another div with Bad Steven. Bad Steven. Okay, okay. Divvy goodness. Div ID equals not weather, but something else. What if I do not constant, constant death, constant location? What the hell was it? It was weather stuff. Where in the hell is the latitude and longitude? Actually, I guess we don't need latitude and longitude. All we need is the city. I wish it was more accurate, too. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't... I mean, it's probably better that it's not more accurate for the sake of the stream and blasting it out there into the world, but... I wonder what the difference is for getting the general location versus, like, the spot you're at. You know what I mean? No? Maybe? I'm just a crazy person. Okay. So name. Which one is name under? It's under ID, or is name its own thing? Name is its own thing, just like how it's pulling in. Weather is its own thing. Bro, I just sent. Wait, do you have Discord? It will help your channel. Yeah, I've got Discord, James. What is Twycons in your profile? Why does it go nowhere? I need to set that up. It's going to be, it'll be Day 9 and Felicia Day, Ryan Day. A lot of days right in the beginning. I need to set up Geek and Sundry. That's going to be the link to the other channels. So yeah. James, bro, I found your house. You live in VA? No. Why would it say Virginia? See, that's my concern. Why the hell would it say it should be... Why can't we see... Oh god, I hit back, and I don't know if I saved recently. Sack of death. Bob Danube. Bob Danube? I live in the biggest city in the nation, land-wise. So city wouldn't help me much. So, probably big difference. Question mark? No, yeah, no. Oh, no, I mean, I don't mind that in general. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm in California. Doesn't it say that somewhere on the profile? Right? It should. But no, it's, well, that's my question, because I want to know how. I don't think I would implement that in this particular stream. But it seems to be pulling the address from the ISP, the Internet Service Provider, which obviously is nearby. But I'm trying to figure out how, if I were interested in doing so, getting more accurate weather, or getting more accurate geolocations. I'm sure it's a difference in, like, what the data we're actually referencing. And it's not critical for this. I mean, I can drive to this city within, a few minutes, but You know, who knows? Maybe it's raining in one city and it's not raining in another. If you're checking for weather, that could be a thing. What if someone wants to go to the beach and it's raining at the beach, but it's not raining at their house and they want to know? I mean, things like that. Some more specific geolocation might be handy in that particular situation. Also, that's a great question for the state. It should be California. Raise your hand if you can find the state. Why does it just give up after the city? Plan, lol. It's your house. Trust me. Played Pokemon Go with a broken phone. What part of the phone was broken? Like a broken screen? I'm always concerned touching phones with a broken screen. I feel like I'm gonna cut my fingers on them. It seems terrifying. Okay, we are looking to pull in anything more specific than just weather. Weather div. Weather in general. Our weather, display weather. Weather div. Data. Null 2. I think this is the actual beast that's pulling the data in. I kind of wanted to break it down further from there, but I don't know if that will help. Maybe what I should do... I just don't know how to bring this nightmare all together. It's freaking awful. The latitude and longitude points to New York City? How f***ing off could it be? I'm in California. It can't... I even checked the latitude and longitude beforehand. Earlier, and it gave me the same city. Also, oddly enough, it did, like, if you throw in a general city, at least it seems to be that way on, like, Google, it doesn't give you, like, an exact point. It just, like, does the middle of the city, like 0, 0, 0 between the height and width and all that stuff. So that seemed to be the latitude and longitude for the city it gave. 117, longitude, latitude. By chance, are you putting them in reverse? Because normally it's latitude first, then longitude. And I see here that for some reason they've got longitude first and then latitude. The middleman's. To get more accurate location, you can run this code on a phone since it has a real GPS sensor. Aha. Some laptops also have GPS, and some browsers can use nearby hotspots to detect your location, but I'm not sure if that works on desktops. Yeah, plus my desktop is older. It's, gotta be at least 6 years old now. I mean, she does the trick, but this is about as much as she can handle. James Does Games, it just placed my character next to the nearest house connection. So if it's pulling the location from your gateway, then it's your house. Fascinating. Definitely not. That'd be helpful if it was that close, because then we could see the exact weather. But it's drivable. It's drivable. If you were going to take a bus, this could be useful information. Or an exceptionally short train ride. Actually, I don't even think they have train stations that short. Between our cities. You know what? Maybe there is. Not important. Not important. Let's solve this. Task at hand. Focus, Stephen. Focus. So we've got two ways of going about this. We've got one set of HTML code another set of HTML that we could use. We've got this current JavaScript, and then we also have this potential JavaScript we can use. Our issue currently is bringing this together, the data, get blah, blah, blah. I think that's what we were looking at, and now what we want to do is pull in something. Sack of death. Hashtag chat's cancer for programming. Yeah, of course it is. I don't mind. That's the thing, though. My programming skills are still trash, so... Let's take... What was I going to do? I was setting up a div... Setting up a div for... Not weather again. Weather div. Let's do weather div 2. Sounds ridiculous, but I'm totally fine with it. What if we do constant weather div 2? This is totally not necessary. There's no need to set up a second one. What I need to pull from is this. It's the display weather stuff. Back out of that. What if we did display city? Display city. This seems wrong. My spidey senses are telling me this is a dumb idea. Now, it can be city in general. City. Yeah. Okay, there's that. But to continue doing something with that, we have our weather div, which gets passed all through here. Display weather, blankety blank, function data, weather div, HTML, stringify data. If I copy this, and, oh bad, all the tags, copy, but we change it to display city. I don't think this is going to work that way. And what if we change it? What's the 2 for? What is the 2 for? We want not data, but name? Possibly? No. We need data. Because that's the parameter. Null and 2. Sadness. Deep, deep sadness. Hey, I added more info. Cool. I did something. I don't know what I did, but I did something. So, what if I get rid of null and 2? And run it again. It's different. Oh, it is different. Okay, hold on. That's cool. Wait a second. Just data. What's gonna happen? Okay, hold on. Something about weather. Oh, I wish I knew what I was doing. I hate APIs. APIs suck. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. James does games. Damn, don't put yourself down like that. That you can probably do more than you think. You're too kind. Possibly. If it was specific, this is still an abstract project in my mind. So I'm still coming to terms with putting it all together. Individually, I can do each of these. The trick is putting all of these skills together. That's what I'm struggling with. James says games, you're always learning new stuff when you're taking a course. Maybe you should make your own stuff based on what you've learned. Yeah, I definitely need, and I want to do that now. It's been hard because I tried to do my own stuff earlier for the sense of the stream, but before I started my journey at Code Academy, and each day there were different tasks and things to do. So after like 150 days of doing Code Academy, when I got around after I completed it, I want to start my own or making my own things. I just sat down and it was like I had nothing to do. I didn't know what to create. It'd be like going to a designer or painter or something, just like make me something. But obviously they have the skill set and the know-how on what to do, but they don't really have the direction on what to make. So I probably should have taken stuff like Code Wars and tried to make projects around the activity, just to have like a little core idea to start with and build from there. But since trying to do my own stuff in like Atom was just a colossal failure because I didn't know where to go or what to do, I continued on to things like Code Wars and freeCodeCamp, and just to keep the ball rolling. But I do want to start a project that I can continue to grow. I have one from Tenacious Raptor that I've been trying to get to for a couple weeks now, but just due to scheduling, not having time to dedicate to it earlier in the day, it's been difficult. So I've just been doing late night streams like this in the meantime. But we'll get there. James Says Games, what is your processor? It is an old dual-core i5. I'm rocking a Mac Mini, so one of the small desktops from Mac. It's an old 2011 Mac Mini, dual-core i5. I think that was the first year they added the dual-core i5s to the Mac Mini lineup. Yeah, but most everything else has been upgraded on the computer, though. There's not a whole lot to upgrade. But yeah. So, she went from like 2 gigs of RAM or 4 gigs of RAM at birth back in 2011 up to 16 gigs currently. And we swapped out the old slow 5200 hard drive for an SSD, which made a huge difference. Oh my god, night and day. It used to take like 2.5 minutes for it to boot up. It was like waiting for a fucking train. but now it boots in like 10 seconds, so maybe less. Dude shouldn't be giving you any problem. Dual core can program pretty good, and play COD 3 2 with the GPU. Yeah, the GPU, it's just the built-in, what is it? The dedicated, or not dedicated, integrated graphics card. Iris something or other. It's an older one. Again, 2011 Mac Mini. I mean, this isn't even the type of computer you'd get your secretary. This is the type of computer you'd get your coffee maker. It's pretty slow. This would make a droid for another droid. But it's just good enough for me to stream a website. What am I looking at? I don't even know what to do. I don't even want to think about it. I'm not motivated by this weather app to figure out this nightmare. Okay, but it's been two days. I don't think we've ever done a 3-day project, and this is the 3rd day of this nightmare. Just put a GPU in it, slap a badge on it. Unfortunately, they don't have space for a GPU. And the downside is that on the Mac Minis, they solder the processor to the motherboard. So unless I go full-blown Hackintosh and just, like, gut the thing and put in some custom board, but at that point I'd rather build my own machine. Just put a GPU in it, slap it on, turn off the integrated graphics. At that point, the time and cost, I'm looking to get a new machine. That's the other thing. I'm waiting, holding out, saving up. I still have, again, due to my weird streaming requirements, I've got limited desk space, and all the space under the desk is already filled with crap. So I need another small form factor PC. I found what I'm going to get. It's just saving up to get there. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? I don't think this is needed at all. Stringify data. I want to take this. I wonder if this changes. Yeah, it changes. Of course it changes. What do we need? Let's double check before we go hacking away at this. What does this change? Null. And 6? Yeah, that's right. What's a 6 do? No one has any idea what the 6 does. I don't see any difference. Run that. I have no idea what's happening. What if I get rid of data? What if it's just empty? Yeah, it's soulless and dead. Alright. Close out of that. Get rid of this guy. We're pulling in our weather. We need it to just display the weather, not behind a button. But just show the weather. We would want Sell it and get a cheap PC. I probably should. It will solve your PC problems. I'll probably end up keeping both. It seems like most full-time streamers have 2 PCs. That way they don't technically have to end the stream when they go to restart games and whatnot. Slightly excessive, but considering I already have the one desktop, might as well just get the newer one and turn that into the streaming-only hub of the channel. Let's comment out this. Go back to the nightmare we had earlier. And death. Okay, that's, oh my god, what, not that. HTML comments. I hate the HTML comments. It's that stupid spear. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but my god, is it annoying. Okay, there's that. Let's do this one. Header, weather stuff. That's that, and now now, if I have variable description, get weather, temp, did we have temp before? I don't think we did. Ctemp. Sack of death. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Spins a web. Dee-dee-dee. Here comes Spider-Man. Something seems wrong. So comparing to the original, all of their CSS is stupid. Let's move this over. Weather nonsense. Continuing on with the weather hell. Oh, it was temp unit. That's what they had. So temp unit equals C and temp. Where do they have temp unit stored? I find that very strange. See, if we were to change something, like lat, wouldn't that affect No, it doesn't. So what the deuce is temp unit? Command F. Yeah, temp unit, exactly. Unit? Where the deuce? Of course, no one sees temp unit. Fine. What about a variable? Nothing? Those bastards. Aha! There we go. There we go. Temp, yeah, right there. That's what we want. Temp unit. Temp unit. Lowercase t, capital U. Lowercase t, capital U. This is it right here. The Ajax stuff. So that should just be temp. But it can't be just temp. It can be temp unit. We can make that temp unit. Where the deuce did... Okay, that was the end of it. That was the end of it. 2, 3, 4, 5, blank, blank, blank. Nice, nice. Temp unit at the bottom. Beautiful. So, close that. Hopefully, that will start to solve our problems. Temp unit. Something about this should be working. C temp in C. F temp. New temp. Temp unit. Do we need to make a change to the weather stuff? Why does it not want to load? We've broken it again. Everything is terrible. This is just a nightmare. City, country, temp, temp, temp unit, and description. Nope, still there. Just checking. Everything about this makes me sad. Trying to come to terms with all of this noise. We have all of our variables. I'm just trying to understand what the difference is between ours and theirs. API blank. We've got latitude and longitude. We have our document ready. Document ready. Navigator geolocation. Nav geo current position. Document ready. if nav geo current position. You know what? Let me also move this over a bit. All right. Document nonsense. Document nonsense. Just about half-ish, blah. Okay, cool. So, document ready function if navigator geolocation current position, function position. We've got variable latitude equals blankety blank. Latitude, longitude. Oh, it's the get weather portion. We don't ever get weather thing. And that's what we were missing from Topher's recommendation earlier in his. I mean, he had it. He had display weather. And then he had his function display weather down here. We have get weather, but we don't have ours set up yet. That may actually be the issue. Or at least one of them. I'm sure there's like 13 more issues we're going to have to face, but in the meantime, baby steps. We can only deal with one dumpster fire at a time, right? So there's that. What's the next thing on our cleanup list? From that point, we want else console log blah blah blah. Console log. Your part of the planet isn't available. Temp unit. Okay, so for temp unit.click function, CN current temp $temp unit. Current temp $temp unit. New temp current unit CFC. New temp current temp CFC. Temp unit dot temp text temp unit. New temp. All right. Okay, we are going through it line by line. If new temp Fahrenheit blankety blankety blah. You know what the other thing that I want to see is which portion of this nightmare is actually doing what part. I want to we're going to go section by section. That's commented out. Commenting that out didn't change anyone's day. What about this? Commenting you out. Also didn't change anyone's day. That means we can't change the weather anymore. The click function died, so that's cool. Good to know. Click function available again. Now, function weather. Well, that seemed to be effective. So this, clearly, is tied to something. So this is really what I need to focus on. I need to make sure that this is the thing that's set up correctly. Okay. we'll make sure that's set up correctly. That's step one. Get weather is our first course of action. It's a good thing we figured out that we needed to add that bit back into our code. From there, icon nonsense. Change still works. Icon is now missing. Good to know. Icon dealt with. That gives us our icon. So that's important, and the one above and below are important. What is this responsible for? No one knows. Probably does something important. Hard to tell what exactly it's doing. So lastly, the first thing we did was clear out the document ready. And let's do that once more, but you know what? We're going to do the whole document ready this time. And I'm pretty sure this guy deserves another semicolon. They haven't admitted it, but I'm pretty sure it needs it. So from there, the whole thing disappears. There's that. Okay. And here's this. Boom. Semicolon. Also good. Alright, so let's deal with get weather first, which is the Ajax nightmare where we threw in the towel last night because we were ready to cry. Geo. What the hell am I looking at? You know what it is? It's a combination of all this shit. See, URL string, and URL versus let's try, we had a different one. We had geostring, geo? Does that really need to be URL? Perhaps not. Everything about this is painful. Aha. City name, country, temp unit, and description. This is everything that it's going to be bringing back to the weather. And based on the description, it will also show an icon. Which is the switch case that we've got here. Something about something. This is hell. URL. Geostring. If that's successful, Ajax right here. Oh my god. Look at that. Geo, undefined. So URL is critical. Oh my god, finally. Okay. Okay. Monkey see, monkey do. Can do function icon. We'll just call it icon. And we'll just make this icon as well. Do we need to worry about add icon? I don't think so. Oh, I totally didn't even notice in the chat. Hamcook, $Ajax needs that key to be URL, not geo. My bad. My bad. Totally didn't see your comment, but yes, we fortunately stumbled across that. Noted. Finally, we've got a little success. Thank God. Thank you, though, Hamcook, for keeping an eye out. That is still greatly appreciated. Okay, so we have those things. Now the issue is bringing in the icon itself. If one wanted to bring in an icon, I would want to do the following. I know they said the icons were pulling from weather.main. Right in... They had a weather app somewhere. Oh, it was this. Their API breakdown. So, usage. The endpoint, blankety blankety blank, glitch.me. Use this endpoint to get weather at a location to prevent abuse. This server accepts GET requests only. Server routes, blah, 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 latitude and longitude. Image links are included in the JSON under weather 0.icon. This is enough to complete the challenge. So we need to take that weather, you know what it is, it's probably, weather icon, something or other. We're going to find this. We are going to find what we need. Yeah, icon. Weather.icon. Let's copy that. Let's actually see where that brings us. Maybe nowhere, maybe somewhere. Super death. I was hoping it was going to show us all the different ones. But regardless, result, weather.0main, icon result, weather.0main. So I need to add something here. Probably. Let's also get some better formatting here. What the hell is happening? We've got our header just sprawled all about. Body. Where's our body tag? I mean, we don't have to have a body tag. I know we were going for some pretty Spartan coding here, but this is tragic. Oh, and we were going to do div container because of the stupid bootstrap stuff. We'll add in our other div. Div ID equals container. Don't forget the quotes. Don't forget the quotes. Okay. So, with that said, what should we try focusing on next? Let's try icon. Is it? PID. Maybe it's not icon. Super death. Well, we can check theirs just to see once more. Div class. What was class they had? Class icon. Not an ID, but class. It was a whole freaking div. All into itself. Is that what was going down? Yeah, div class. Blankety blankety blank. That's what was going down. So if I want... What do I want? We can do the first one like this. I don't think we're not going to do the text center though, because we want a different beast altogether. Div. All icon. We are looking for... Was it add icon or all icon? Why are we so confused and broken? They had body, header, temp, hover, the all icon. All they had specified for that was the margin. They had div hide. They had the icon colors. What clouds would do. Were they making their icons? Or were they just referring to them? I thought they already had the whole list of icons from this. I thought that was the whole point of the icon web address. I thought it was referencing that particular... Also, I realized I highlighted all of icon, not just the web address last time. Yeah, see a little cloud. Cool. But we don't want a little cloud. What we want... See that? See that? Yeah, little cloud, rain. Could be the sun, could be the moon. Could just be a random ball of death. Or happiness. Probably death, considering the current state of things. So... they're referencing stuff, which is, in fact, icon. Why can't I just pull that in? When I go to reference, what is it? City? Pressure. No, where to go? When I go to reference, where did it go? Why? It doesn't have the city name, which is a little disturbing. Anywho, aside from that, coordinates or weather, it would be just that. So when we go to access description, it's pulling from weather.main, result.weather, result.main.temp, system.country. See, look at this, right? System, they don't have it here. Okay, name is missing, but system.name, and it would be the thing. So I want to pull from blank, from icon, icon dot something. This is tragic. This is what tragic looks like. Why doesn't it like icon? We have icon here. Add icon, add icon, add icon, add icon. Add icon. Compared to what? Telling you, this is awful. Could have to do with CSS. I really hope it doesn't have to. I want to deal with the CSS. I don't care if it's pretty or not. Functional is good. Functional is fine. Don't give a damn about pretty. At least not right now. We are not in a state where we can worry about pretty. See, there's that. So now, something is in fact missing. What in particular is missing from our stuff? Let's try the CSS. But I don't believe... Again, it should have just been pulling those icons. Death, it's the CSS. Sack of doom. Oh, Thoski. There are no div.drizzle, div.rain, or so on your code. Or is it? See? I have no idea, although I'm not the one to ask. All I've proven over the last 249 days is to not check with me. So let's undo. I mean, what the hell could have been? Well, let's go on a deleting spree, because we're good at those. So let's pretend the JavaScript and the... See, I feel like it's all this BS that keyframes crap, but they did not go over any of this stuff. At least not clearly. You know what this really does highlight? And I know there's a balance, because the more you do things on your own, the better. But freeCodeCamp does just kind of, like, dive into their activities and lessons. They don't really stop to explain, like, how it works. They just sort of start showing you what's occurring. And that's how the lessons are. So they only do, again, just before the immediate projects and stuff. This is it. This is all their lessons on. It's just a simple, you know, here's how you tie in the changing text or with a click event. It's that little bit right there, which they don't really go into huge detail on how that all comes together. Not quite complaining, just highlighting. Get JSON, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So it's quite a large jump to go from just those quick examples, at least I feel like it's a large jump, to compiling all of this nonsense. That's why mine is so basic. Select all, boom. Yeah, this is what I've got. This is where we're at right now. Not even all of this. Yeah, right there. Boom. This is why we're struggling. They have taught us, sort of. But they're after they've taught us, they are quickly asking for what I feel like is quite a lot. Don't mind me. My face hole is exploding. Run, children, run. Save yourselves. Oh, God. Our nose. Don't look at me. I'm a monster who can't breathe. So, we're going to get rid of it because we're trying to simplify and just stick with our level of understanding. But we brought over all of their HTML as far as the things go. Things being icons. It wasn't quite playing nicely with this, so we were throwing in all of the CSS, and that seems to make it happy. My concern is that there's movement and shit like that. We don't need the movement. We just want the sad little cloud, and everything should be fine. Okay, Thoski, Thoast. Thosty K. Thostic? Captain T. We're gonna go with that. Captain T, there are no divs. Div.rain in your code. Or is it? It might, it also might be because the animations are, toasty. Good. I'm a moron. Determined moron, but still. Okay, no div, or is it? It also might be because the animations are white and are just not visible on the white background. Oh my god, can you imagine how terrible that would be? And there's no way for me to check, unless, hold on, there is a way for me to check. If I move this back under, a description, copy. Watch this. No, why is that so sad? I was supposed to take the description and put it somewhere. Well, that's just properly soul-crushing. Why wouldn't it take Missy? Hey, ntemp. It's flawed, just like the rest of my code. I'm gonna be that's super concerning. Hold on, now you've got me concerned that it is just the background. Okay, so do something like dollar icon. Oh god, wait. It also might be the animations are white, or just not visible on a white background, which would be really soul crushing. I would suggest instead of using the CSS icons, just use the weather 0 dot icon from the response. I like that. So you want to do something like dollar icon dot attribute source data dot weather 0 icon. Okay, it is toasty. Good to know. Ham cook only picks up the first ID. Oh, that's right. IDs are unique. Damn it, Steven. How could you forget that? Thank you for the reminder. Hamcook only picks up the first ID. You need to delete one of them, or jQuery only picks up the first ID it finds. Yeah, of course. Of course, IDs are unique. Steven's an idiot. Let's go with, you know what? Screw the IDs. Test. We don't even need the quotes. I'm just don't mind me. Don't mind me. Let's get rid of all of that. Boom. Now we can test. We have test. We can also get rid of. Oh dear God, play nicely. I'd like to have paragraph. Do I want a paragraph? What if I do paragraph description? Son of a... What am I thinking of? ID or class? It was ID. No, it was class. It was class equals paragraph icon. That's what we want to work with. That is, oh god, that we're missing an S. Missing an S. Malnourished class. 1S. This is just here as a test point in case we end up with some white fluffy cloud icon that we can't readily see. But if it does appear, there should be some movement. Fingers crossed. Okay, continuing on with the sadness, we will forge ahead. We're going to do the dollar attribute stuff, just like Toasty recommended. Now, where would one want to shove said toast? I want to put it here. See, they've already got icon. And we've got icon here. We also have all of add icon and all of this nonsense. If I comment out that... No. Nothing. Okay, we'll get there. We're gonna do something like, let me type that out. It won't go here, but it'll go somewhere. Dollar icon. Icon dot attribute source. Good. Source, comma? Yeah. Data weather. Data dot weather dot. again, we're going to move this. We are going to move this to a happy place where it belongs. I'm just simply typing out in the meantime. Okay, so that said, we have this. Where would I shove this particular thing? Icon attribute start data. Cut. I want to put it in here. But I don't think they like me. Which I can live with. Megadeth. Well, hold the phone. Icon. Image instead of text. And then we could change it. And then we could change it. So instead of class, we could do an image, right? It should have been an image tag in the first place, which is why there was source. Which is why there was source, I think. Or I'm just making shit up, but that would seem okay to me. Image tags are single. We've got source equals something or other. Meh. Okay, okay. We'll figure it out from there. Let me get back to the comments. There's all kinds of stuff happening. So you could do something like dollar icon attribute source data weather 0 icon toasty. He only picks up the first ID. You need to delete one of them, or jQuery only picks the first one. Right? Did I delete? I got rid of the other one. Yeah, we have test as our placeholder in case I end up with a white icon on a white background. How soul-crushing is that? So test as placeholder. James says, games, you're so hard on yourself. There are people who have been developing for 10 years that still forget to close their statements. Well, that's fine. James does games. I'm gonna go get pizza. Oh, pizza. And come back to fall asleep. Hamcook 79. Comment outline 74. Hamcook, you got eyes like a hawk. Good for you with all the jumping around. Oh, okay. Well, we'll get there. That is line 74. That's probably what you're referring to now, but hold the phone. Comment outline 74 and make a new line underneath and paste what toasty snippet. James does games. I remember back when I thought CSS was another way to say CS. But dot icon has to be an image in that case, not a div. Okay, so I did start to figure that out a little bit, I think. So we'll have to comment this out, or get rid of it entirely, but hold on. So dot, and it should be dot icon. Is that what it should have been? It should have been ID or not. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. Crazy person choice. James does games. Crazy thing is you're doing all this without IDE with syntax prediction or definitions for parameters. Toasty, oh sorry, it is result.weather in your case, not data. Aha, so I should keep source result, if I can spell like a human, result.weather, not data. Typo, remove the period between weather and 0 as well. Aha, okay. So, and you said take this and put it somewhere, going back. First ID, comment out line 74, check, commented, and make a new line. Oh, this is the issue, and we want to keep this guy. Aha, there we go. Toasty, I think he's a little behind. Oh, so far behind. You have no idea, but it's great. I'm catching up. This is like Bilbo Baggins catching up to the rest of the squad. I'm excited to go along for the journey. I'm just really far behind the start of the rest of the team. Toasty, a little behind chat, I mean. Oh, no. I realized you were talking about chat. I'm talking about in general. Crazy person's choice. Okay, there's that. Which means if we aren't going to be using this, we probably can comment out this noise as well. And quite possibly even the second bit down here. Now, with that said, we've got icon, source, attribute. Does this need to be modified in any way, shape, or form? Should it be a class or just a thing icon? Toasty, reading this with 5-minute delay will just be more confusing. Yeah, I'm probably making it worse by not keeping an eye immediately on it the whole time. So, you have the selector dot icon, but where is it in your code? Okay. Dot icon is that. But now, Steven needs to do something with it. They're hinting at it. I kind of want to have dot icon in CSS, but I really don't think that's necessary for right now. So I eventually want to have class, not class, ID, periods or IDs, equals, think it through, Steven, don't start crying, you can do this, icon, or class, or ID, and move it elsewhere. Something about sources icon? Death! Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. We're gonna figure it out. Wait. Okay, hold on. Toasty, you have your selector dot icon, but where is it in your code? In your HTML, are you really sure periods are IDs? Damn it! Hold on. Little cat, I can hear you. No. Little kitty, yes, be confused. Those TV remotes are placed there strategically to prevent you from having sure footing. You furry abomination. Ugh. If I weren't so down and distraught right now, I wouldn't be so happy to see you, but you're so furry that it makes me happy to touch you. So, you're a welcomed nuisance for this exact moment. Alright, so Comfort Kitty is present. Hey, little kitty, just no standing on the keyboard, alright? We are deep into neared progress. No, no, no. Princess? Oh god, sorry, was that your eye? I love you. No, you're ruining the code. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Just, I can't see what's changing. All I see is things moving. Tiny cat, I love you. Just, oh, okay. Nobody move. Where do I put you? Oh god. Watch your face. That's the mic. Yeah. Go over here. Okay, alright. Sweet baby Jesus. Nobody move. Good, yes. Okay, crisis averted. What happened? Toasty, are you really sure periods are IDs? No, now you've got me questioning everything. I swear to God. Furry cat, what did you do? Boom. Oh, God. Where's the beginning carrot? Oh, it's all up there. That was close. I mean, that was less than great, but that was not ideal by any sense of the imagination. Toasty followed for the cat. Well, thank you for the follow. Hamcook Kitty. Sorry, I love cats. James does games. This is where the syntax prediction would help. Yeah, this is also where it would help not having a cat. Toasty, cats versus code. Yeah, that's what the last 249 days have been. Source. It's not source. Source should be something else. Do I even need source right now? Well, let's look. We have IDs. IDs aren't. IDs are the hashes. Little cat, did you see that? IDs are the hashes. Thank God she stopped by. See, because here we have everything else with IDs. So, what that means, because up here, no, hey, this is what we were talking about before. You were welcome the first time, but you made terrible suggestions. True, it led to a breakthrough. Just don't knock over the webcam, alright? Princess, Steven is working. We are in the midst. Oh my god, you're just following my fingers because you need love. Why can't you just... Hey, no. I want to spend time with you. I really do. But just maybe another time? You're knocking shit over. You're gonna wake her up. Oh god. Why are you so clueless? Assume the napping position. Under the desk. You love the napping position. You have so many little toe knives. Okay, we're good. Did she destroy my code? I couldn't tell. Sorry for the cat fiasco. This is just awful. No one's gonna hire me to be a developer. Oh god. Here we go. Cat vs. Code, James does games. Our cat was laying on the pizza box. It's kind of gross to eat it now. Cat pizza? Everybody loves cat pizza. We were looking at something. Oh, we were going to change the hash. We were going to change the period to... That makes sense why everyone else, one of these things is not like the others. Boom. Okay, there's this. Do I still need source? What if I get rid of source? Why is my tongue so furry? Oh, God. Cat. Let me check. See, we already had this, though. Description. Maybe that's the difference. What if we change it from main to icon? Nope. Weather.main, weather icon. All image element tag. Okay. Hamcook. All image element tags need a source attribute. Noted. Noted. Source. So this seems to be okay. Now I think the issue is this. Source equals, I guess it would come from over here. They're included under the weather 0 icon. Image links are included in the JSON under weather 0 icon. Death. Do I need to, like, give it a link to reference in addition? I don't think I need to, because it's, again, part of the JSON stuff. Image source. Does it need a comma? No. Toasty. Actually, there was a point where your code should have been working, so you might want to check your dev console for errors when you reach that point again, like right now. Alright. So, view, developer. You were saying to check our dev console. Like JavaScript console? This guy over here? Like those errors? Death. That must be the errors you were referring to. Well, that's frustrating. So, what needs to change? What if I get rid of that and add this? What happens? No? What if I save? Something about something. When I click on this, changes from ntemp from Celsius to ntemp versus Fahrenheit. This is all so tragic. James Does Games always debug from the top down, by the way, just something I learned. I don't even know where the top is at this point, emotionally. I mean, literally, I know where the top is, but everything is soul-crushed. Little cat. Try not to destroy anything. Isn't there a console embedded in CodePen? It seems to show errors that are not directly related to your code. I don't know / don't think there is. Yes, it's on the far left bottom. Oh, cool. Nope, tiny cat. I need to see that side of the screen. Oh, you're right. It is on the far left. Okay. You guys are rock stars. Cook, you got eyes like a hawk. Okay, console. Way cool. So, why is it broken? Should it be doing something? Kind of feel like it should be doing something. Assets, comments, delete, keyboard, collections. Might be the only output you get from the console log. Well, that would just suck a bag of tips. Yeah, that could really suck. So everything is tragic. Below line 74, console log, result weather icon. You got it. You got it. Copy this. Boom. Console.log. Undefined. They tricked us, those slimy whores. They sent us into the woods knowing we were gonna fail. What kind of soulless human being would do that? Unbelievable. What if I put a 1 here? Oh, I get a 50N, whatever the that means. What about a 2? Another 50N. There's an army of 50N, whatever that stands for, waiting on the shores for us. Can you believe that? They set us up. Okay. Then do console log result weather. You can try to console log just the results and see the whole object it's returning. So missed description ID 701 main missed. What if I get rid of the 0 part? Just weather. It gives me more. Missed ID 701. Object description haze icon 50N. Oh, we had the icon for haze. Look at that. Cool. So what does that mean though? We can't see because of your face, son of a bitch. Of course you can't. Sack of death. Well, let me go back to... Let me figure out how I can move this. Of course, right as we make a breakthrough. My skin noggin is in the way. Here we go. Here we go. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. There's that. That's gotta be better. Undefined. We had dot icon boom, undefined, right? So we were pissed. So we did 1 and then it gave us 50N, right? And then we started throwing in other things like 2, also 50N, and 3, nothing changes. But when we got rid of undefined. You guys said to ditch icon. It spit out mist. Pretty cool, right? Which is theoretically what it should be, because it says it's misty right now. And when we get rid of 0, ta-da, it gives us more. It gives us mist, the ID, and then it goes further into it, haze, and that's what object 51 is, or 50N is, was the haze icon. So this is where we currently stand. Again, my stupid face was blocking everything. So now we need to take something. Okay. 50N is not the documented return value. Shouldn't it return a whole URL? Not if they're trying to trick us. They probably aren't trying to trick us. This is day 3 of a stupid project. Who wakes up and goes, I want to make a weather app? That noise. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. And we need to change that. I mean, all of this is just tragic. All of it is awful. So, what do I want to do? I want to take all of this, put it back, because they want 0, dot icon for some reason. And it's supposed to be doing something. It responds to 1, but nothing else. Maybe in the Hamcook, maybe in the CSS example, they might have had a class.haze with a custom URL for the white cloud. We can certainly check. Here we've got something about rain and stuff and bolts. See, like, there's no need for my code to have 300 plus lines of CSS. I just want my little cloud icon and have it be over with. Rain, lightning, and death, full of lies. Let's do Command F, haze. No? Anywhere? Nothing? No. No haze? How could that possibly? Container. Rain, thunderstorms, cloudy flurries, sunny, rainy. That's all they have. And then here they've got drizzle, clouds, rain, snow, clear, and thunderstorms. And then they've got a default, which I think hides any of the icons. Okay. Maybe in the CSS example, they might have a class.haze with custom URL for white cloud. Yeah, they do, but that's a strange overkill workaround. Yeah, and it's all fucking terrible. Obviously, theirs is beautiful, but beyond unnecessary, especially considering how basic it is. Their old version was this: show local weather, because it's been updated. But here with the instructions, don't really cover anything special beyond this and jumping to their example site. But here, as it goes to video, ta-da, this used to be their old one. We can pause it. Yeah, so that. Because we can do background images. I could set it up where we do background images, but because they say, what do they want? These are the 3 user stories. They want to see the weather for their current location. They also want to see either a different icon or a different background image. Snowy mountain, hot desert, blah, 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 depending on the weather story. So I can push a button, toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Ours button is questionable, but like so. Celsius, Fahrenheit. Currently, ours is having a bit of an issue. Celsius is fine. Fahrenheit kind of turns into an abomination, but it works. It's there. So, what are we looking for? We want something. I just don't know anymore. Maybe we just have to call it quits on the weather app. What if we just throw in the towel? I don't think we've actually, not that we will never finish it, but in the meantime, at 3 days it's already taken. What's the API endpoint you're using? Why does this require blank 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 return an icon? Whoa, wait. What is the API endpoint you're using? Why does this request blank 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 return an icon? Mine. This is their example. My current one, the latitude and longitude, are being updated with my current position via all of this noise. So we start off API up to the question mark here, then longitude and latitude end up going through this labyrinth. If navigator geolocation receives info, it will update it accordingly, and we kind of build out the rest of the link. Lat equals, like so, longitude equals blah blah blah. Get weather. So that's for the weather. We've got our click function, which clearly needs tweaking, but we'll get there eventually. And then the get weather portion yet again. They had theirs broken out where they have the icons and then they have the functions. Or they've got the icon and then add icon. And they have a hilarious amount of CSS referencing all this nonsense. So I wasn't sure where and what was needed at this point to make it work. I was hopeful that I would be able to do something basic, kind of like what we had. Just drop in weather 0.icon. just like they said here. The only other thing I can think of is going back to our other code. I'm not sure. That's what we want / need. Okay, Hamcook. Line 34 and 35 use their default variables. Oh. Whoa. Lines 34 and 35 use their default numbers. So variable latitude equals 35 and variable longitude equals 139. Oh, right. You were talking about their example. Yeah, the coordinates. My bad. Coordinates, longitude 159, latitude 35. I thought we were all on the same page. I thought everyone else was on the same page. I thought I was lost. Clearly I'm lost, but separate issue. So anywho, see for example, FCC blank, latitude 59, longitude, God knows why. So it's actually not reliable to use the icon from the result. Hancock, so you always have a default while testing, since we know those values do return an icon. So should I put in 35 and 39? Oh my god, I think you're right, because you know what? Misty still returned the same cloud icon. It didn't change. I ended up with the same stupid dancing cloud as theirs, even when I brought their code over, their CSS over, into mine with the geolocation. So, what does that actually mean I need to do? Oh, God. Death. And of course, it's 2:04 a.m. Why is it 2:04 a.m.? This is not 2:05. 2:05 a.m. Why? This is not what one should be doing at 2:05 a.m. Hamcook, probably falling into default in the switch statement if there's no icon present in the API results. So you always have a default while testing, since we know those values do return an icon, probably falling into default in the switch statement if there's no icon present from the, oh, you're right. But oh no, at the time, I didn't have this commented out. You're right, div clouds. Div clouds is the default for mist, since there's no specific mist icon. Hamcook, you're good. Toasty, the only possibility is to have your very own icons for every weather state, actually like they did in the example. Well, that would suck. I think this is a challenge best left for the future. I'm fine with the challenges from Code Wars, despite how questionable the solutions have been. We've figured out some pretty interesting ones, but the current weather API fiasco, maybe it's because it's weather and it's just not interesting. I am interested in the next one. Also, Code Wars takes a while to load. Like, the next one is building a Wikipedia viewer, and the last one is use the Twitch TV JSON API. I'm psyched to learn about that one. That should be cool. No motivation to do the show local weather. We did the build a random quote machine, and we evolved some pretty crazy other ones. This one, the challenge, finding equal sides of an array. That was a freaking nightmare, but we pulled it off. See, look at this nightmare. So you're given an array, smattering of arrays, and you need to find the midpoint at which the sides are equal. Oh god, why is it refusing to stop being highlighted? So the midpoint for this one was 100, because everything to the left of 100 in the array, which is 1, was equal to the right, all summed together. 50 minus 51 is negative 1, plus 1 is 0, plus 1 again brings us to 1. So 1 and all of this are equal, and same goes on for the rest of these. That was brutal. But I was able to make it through. Yeah, see all that noise? We've gone through countless stuff at Code Wars that's confusing and daunting, but this, the weather API, it was built to crush souls. And we're struggling. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's just the project in general, that it's not inspiring. I think it's brutal. Clearly, this works beautifully. I would just hope that there's a simpler way of doing this than... How many lines was it specifically? Oh god, it goes on forever. Then 392 lines of CSS just to make the icons work alone. Stab me in the heart, right? I think day 3 needs to end on a fizzle. What do we have? Probably falling into the default. Yeah, good call. Toasty. The only possibility is to have own icons for everything. Weather state. Actually, like they did in the example, which just sounds awful. Again, that's a lot of rinse and repeat work. Like, the switch statement, I tried through, I sounds ridiculous, but I copied their code in the top section. Was it this code? Yeah, no. Oh, that's there. Where's mine? I went through and copied their code, their HTML, and I whittled it down. I whittled all of their HTML down to this bit right here, just the essentials. And they had a hilarious amount. So, like, yeah, it's excessive. It's not needed. And I whittled it down to the little bit that I wanted. And I did the same for I realized I didn't need any of their CSS, aside from the animations, but I think that's the issue, was that their JavaScript, their icons, was tied into the CSS, which was also tied into the HTML. And displaying the icons, and it just... too little, too much to tie together for Steven's tiny brain. Anyways, what were we looking at? Toasty, the only possibility I have everything. Toasty, quite a bad example for learning to use a broken API, right? Hamcook, agree with Toski. FreeCodeCamp left out some key issues. If you can't rely on having the icon return, there should not be an icon returned at all. I could live with that. See, and I thought that's what it was going to do. I thought it was going to blank out to the things they didn't have icons for. It's okay. We can... Yesterday ended on a fizzle. This whole stream has been about trying to learn how to code, but falling on your face and dealing with that and moving on. Usually trying to make progress. We've fallen on our face yet again. We will move on tomorrow, but make progress in a different direction. We'll either continue at Code Wars, or we will finally be able to dive into the other side project that Tenacious set up for us a week or two ago. So, it's all good, and then we can come back when we're more confident, hopefully maybe after Tenacious. I think the project Tenacious Raptor sent us might have an API component to it that needs setting up. Either way, eventually we will get more confident and we will be able to conquer said weather app, because we're going to finish FreeCodeCamp, so we're going to have to cross this bridge at some point. I just don't think now is quite the time. Tough to admit defeat, but it's good to know when to realize that's occurred, and I think that is that time. Handbook. These are the best times to learn. If you're not struggling, you're not learning. Oh, and we have been struggling for 249 consecutive days, and we will continue to struggle. In the meantime, we can close out of FreeCodeCamp. Day 249 also, like the day before it, ends on a fizzle once again. At least we are free from weather hell. Let's go ahead and close out of this, close out of some of the other noise. Leave that. Thank you all for your outstanding efforts in trying to guide us to the end, but this ship is too far broken to be salvaged for today. Plus, it's 2 a.m. Dear God. We should all be asleep right now. Backing out of the stream. Weather fiasco. Set on the back burner for another day. Toasty. The icons are from openweathermap.org. Weather condition. I blame the climate change for the broken API. Or for the broken weather API. I agree. Hamcook. Open weather map image 50 and PNG. Let's do it. You found the links. Let's crack them open. We can at least celebrate by looking at pictures. Pictures are good. Don't mind all the madness behind the screen as we get to look behind the curtain of BDXA. All the dashboardy goodness. Alright, chat is loading. Weather map dot something. We've got two. We've got weather map icons. Oh, we're going all over the place. Open link in new tab. Open link there. Let's close this. Weather conditions. Yeah, that's brutal. Nice. How to get the icon URL. For code 501, moderate rain icon equals 10D. Okay. So here at 50N, so that's either for mist or haze. I think that was for haze from the console log that we were getting. 50N. See, mist doesn't have anything, but haze does have an icon. So that must be the haze icon. Good to know. Good to know. Alright, see the 50 in. Maybe you can figure out something with this next time. Will do. Fingers crossed. It was a valiant effort, but it was not meant to be. We can back out to our profile. Hopefully we can back out to our profile. Save. Well, that's not what we want at all. Our dashboard. Not our dashboard. Profile? Profile. Nice. Alright. Way to go. Go team. Thank you again. Let's back out of, what's it called? CodePen into OBS. Thank you again to anyone and everyone who stopped by to view the stream. And to assist. Any and all views are greatly, greatly appreciated. Huge hat tip to everyone who threw out suggestions, trying to guide us on the way. Today we had James Does Games, Bob Danube. We'll get there. We are good at butchering usernames, so that is one skill set we have. We also had the Middlemans, Toasty, and of course, Hamcook, and that was everyone out in chat. Way cool. Anyone who accidentally stumbled in here to view the stream, thank you very much as well, as any and all views are greatly, greatly appreciated. Day 249 comes to an end, and the adventure continues tomorrow with day 250 of the year of streaming and learning to code. 250. Kinda cool. In the meantime, we are stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it!